What's up, CHFFL? We're here, week 7, just passing the halfway point. I'm back in my home studio after traveling for a couple of weeks. I'm hoping to do a bit of a mid-season recap, some of the biggest surprises, moves, etc., the standings. So look for that in the coming days. But for now, let's preview this week's games. After we wrap up last week, of course, I was 4-2 for the second week in a row, bringing me to 21-15 on the season. The team of the week was Wes, winning a huge game of the week against Parker, where I called out that the winner would be making a big statement game. Christian Kirk outscored Hopkins for Parker by enough points to make all of the difference, which was a big surprise. And I think Wes has asserted himself as the new front runner that everybody's chasing in the league after knocking off Pa. Waiver watch this week, the biggest one on actual waivers was Mark picking up Boston Scott for $31 as he plays Miles Sanders' team. Sanders out this week and Scott filling in, put up 19 points on Thursday. Very nice pickup. And Minnie grabbed Antonio Brown out of free agency. That's something we're going to be watching. I just see opinions are all over the place on what picking up Brown was like, but I think as a speculative ad, it was very good for him to have the quick finger on that. Moving into our matchups this week, let's start with Cliff Franklin's Sticky Hands versus Derek and my Coruscant Younglings. We're on a bit of a bad slide. We're at a 3-game losing streak, tied for worst in the league, and we'll see if we can snap it this week. On paper, we should. Swan is missing Mixon, so he's plugging in Swift and Henderson, who have been hit or miss a bit this season, big games or kind of absent. And we're starting to wonder if Tyler Lockett is becoming that kind of boom-bust play. It looked after the first couple weeks that he was a certified wide receiver 1, but he's been disappointing for a couple in a row. I'm hoping he bounces back this week, and I'm picking Derek and I to get the win. Next, Coach Boone's 5th grade sissy versus Kittle running under 12 parsecs. Wes only got 4 points from Slayton on Thursday as his receivers continue to be week to week. He's trying to find good matchups, and he hasn't really added somebody who's consistent all the time. Max is plugging in Giovanni Bernard at running back with Joe Mixon out. But Wes just has more upside. I'm looking at these two rosters, and I see guys on Wes's team, Kittle, Kamara, who can put up 30, 40 points. I don't see as much on Max, so I'm taking Wes. Next, the SCLSU Mud Dogs versus the Mandalorian Mercenaries. Freeman put up 0 for Grant on Thursday at the flex position. Grant, got to call you out on this. We've been doing this too long. Don't start Thursday players in your flex spot ever. Bad. Also for Grant, we're watching Le'Veon Bell's debut in Kansas City. Of course, he's benching Bell this week, but the big question is how much will he eat into Clyde Edward-Helaire? For Brad and Jason, Aaron Jones is out with an injury, and Adam Thielen is on bye week. I'm still taking Brad. Partially, I always like following the Thursday games, and he didn't drop a 0 on the Thursday, so that one should be kind of close, though. So should this next one. Icebox's Little Giants versus Kareemed by the Sith. Stan got 12 points from the Eagles D against the Giants on Thursday. Good starting him against Daniel Jones with all those turnovers. Who's Minnie going to plug in at defense? He didn't have one on the roster while I made these slides this morning, so could be a big advantage for Stan. Michael Thomas is out again, and Stan's looking for rookie receivers to fill in. Of course, Claypool has been very big. Ken Shellnut also come through. I like Minnie a little bit more. This is my closest game of the week looking at it on paper. Next, Show Me the Money versus Tuscan City Raiders, kind of the opposite. We have Parker, I'm sure, upset after losing the big game with West last week. We're watching Hopkins' ankle. I think he plays at the 8 o'clock game, but Parker does have somebody he can sub in there at flex. And Marty's team is just all floor right now with no ceiling. He has a bunch of steady guys that are going to give him some points, but I don't think he has anyone who can put up with Derrick Henry, say, who had 49 points last week. So I'm taking Pa. I think that's a pretty easy pick. And finally, my game of the week is Mark's Zero Fun Sir versus JD's Wookiee of the Year. It's the biggest disappointment. Mark, who of course I picked to win it all, and right now he is not on pace to do that, versus the biggest surprise, the rookie who's come in and is 4-2 through 6 weeks. Those 19 points from Scott, very big, especially with JD missing Sanders. He's going to need a big wide receiver day. That's where his strength is in this matchup, but I'm taking Mark. And I think this, because, I love storylines. I think Mark gets this game, this win against a team that's doing much better than him to this point in the season. It could be a turning point. and he could come into the second half, compete for a playoff spot. So we'll see how everything goes. That's how I see this week, and look for that midseason video hopefully in the coming days. See you then.